Hello guys, and welcome to another one of my Monster Super League videos. In this video, we're gonna be doing something special. No, or are we? Well, I'm not gonna tell you. We're gonna be grinding like I have been doing in quite a few other videos lately, going through the Pagos Coast on Extreme Experience Mode. This time around, I have my Light Medusa, tracking it with me, giving it some experience points while I'm farming these levels, trying to find out what the spawn rate of the different monsters, Astromons in Monster Super League is. So far we have been doing quite a few batches of these high speeds runs. I am running this in about 32 times high speed just to really cram together a lot of the goodies that we have. And this here is our very first legendary appearance on cam, and that is a really nice thing to be able to include. Anubis has a 20% catch rate for me with the upgrades I have in Pagos Coast, and I only have 3 shots to catch him. I can upgrade this with additional 5% for 640,000, but I'm not gonna do that. I really want to catch this dude because it's a nat 4, it's Anubis natural is like not really good. But having him as evolution fodder for other things is really amazing, and also being able to add in statistical data about the appearance of legendaries is really amazing. So I'm super hyped about that. That was like the first really interesting catch that I have had in this like recording series. And note that you get 50 Astro Gems for catching one of these legendaries as well, so that is really worth taking into consideration as well. Not only do you get a nat 4 that you can possibly use, or like right now you can actually use the Anubis for the light Shiva fusion if you like really crazy hardcore, and I would really like to be able to do that, but I've been going with the nature bolt wing instead of the fire, so I'm like so behind in terms of turning all that around so that I can get my fire bolt wing instead. So that was yeah, I made that decision before I really understood how the fusion process works in Monster Super League. But I mean, getting in that 4, it's always a good thing. It's nice to be able to add them in, and here we're getting a super rare Miho. This here is Nature Miho. You get different elements of a lot of these super rares, and legendaries when you're playing on different difficulties, so you can swap the difficulty settings on the map to toggle the different elements of the different spawns. So if you really need like a Fire Miho, then you don't want to be playing Pagos Coast on Extreme, then you want to be farming a different map or a different difficulty, so play around with that. Miho again is like when you catch a super rare, you're going to be getting an Astro Gem reward. You can also be catching these as variants. That is just going to be even more interesting, so keep an eye out for that, so you don't just keep grinding in case you're in like a really silly lucky gaming streak where you get a lot of the same. Then you want to be like raking in your bonuses each and every time you catch one of these goodies. Especially if you're new to the game, you possibly may even want to put it in your team right away, give it a few gems if you have them. And gems is something I want to be touching in another video because it's really important in terms of not just the end game but also the starting up kind of part of Monster Super League. Gems is really one of the features in the game that push you a lot further than what you can do just with your Astromons. Here we're getting a variant, a variant, and variants, I haven't really been talking about what they are, but I guess those of you that may be watching this video already know this, but variants are leader versions of Astromons. What that means is that if you have a variant, you can set it as the leader of your team, and the variant will have a leadership ability that is going to benefit your entire team. So it's very nice to include a variant in your teams, but not just when you're going story mode farming like what I'm doing now. Some variants benefit you in the PvP area, some benefit you in the dungeons, some benefit you against other things, some benefit you in all battles, some give you resistance, some only help other Astromons with the same element as what they are. So you really need to, like, the bolt wing that I have here has a critical hit buff it's not really that exciting, but on the other hand, it's just that little bit of extra thing. And if you have a team that is built around crits, for instance, if you're playing with something like Doc Mona, you may really want to be upping your crit rate or your crit damage to get even more out of that. So it's another small piece of the Monster Super League puzzle, is understanding what variants should I go for, because different elements can have different variant bonuses. And here we have Chocolate. As you now see, this farming streak here is recorded during the Truffle and Barn event. Probably the most horrible part of Monster Super League I have seen since I started. And you needed like loads of these exotics. You kind of always need a lot of exotics when they're there. And my take on the entire exotic concept in Monster Super League is, don't go silly with it. Just enjoy it for what it is. Get the additional catch league points for grabbing these freebies. When I started playing, there was a really cool catch event where you got like Netfall, Light and Dark Snowman kind of things, and they were insane. And everything I have seen in terms of like these exotics since then has been close to a joke, because the amount of time and effort you need to put into farming these is just beyond crazy silly. Because whatever you catch, like with the Barn and Truffle, you need 16 in order to be able to evolve it to its third evolution. And what you needed with the Barn and Truffle event was one Barn and one Truffle evolved to their final tier, as in you need 16 of each. So you had to catch these 32 rares, then you had to fuse them together, pay loads of in-game cash in order to get one Evolution 1 Venus, and again you needed 16 of those in order to have an Evo 3 version of that. So the amount of Astromons you had to be able to catch in order to obtain it is just beyond silly, especially because all exotics have the same spawn rate as the rares. And that is the information that I can really use for something, because making these statistical videos, I've been wondering how should I categorize the exotic spawns, because sometimes I'm playing and it's gonna be with an exotic spawn event, and sometimes when I'm playing perhaps we won't be seeing any exotics, or it's gonna be a period where we have no exotics in the game, or we're gonna have more rare or less rare exotics. But the game developers actually posted that, for instance, with the new Pinocchio event, even though these are only 2-star Astromons, they have an appearance as exotics, and that is the same as the rare. And what that tells me is that we have a fixed spawn rate for a given tier of mobs or Astromons. So rare has some % chance of happening, and that includes the exotics as well. So I can actually like cramp these together as a single statistics. I'm not gonna, but it's very nice to note that the amount of times you see an exotic, that's actually the same, like it's a placeholder for whatever you would have been getting. So playing on Pagos Coast, when I see an exotic, I could have seen a Mona instead. And I would much rather have done that, really, but that is besides the point. So it's very nice information to know that the exotics kind of share the spawn amount with the rares, both in terms of long-term statistics, but also in terms of when you want to be farming where, because when I have exotics, am I getting half the amount of Monas? So yeah, a lot of stuff that you can think about in terms of that if you are as geeky about game statistics and mechanics as I am. Just selling out some gems here. I have decided more or less to stop including the coin income for these different farmings, and that is because it is a very stable thing. The fluctuations in terms of what you're going to be earning when you are grinding these levels is more about whether or not you catch something and what type of gem you get, and the price ranges for the gems just isn't really that big. So I'm making this video series here because I'm farming Monas, and because I want to know what is the percentage chance of getting the different things, the legendaries, the rares, the super rares, the variants, So like the cash info and how much you're getting for selling, how much you're getting for the coin drop, it's also going to be depending on whether or not you select the experience farming as I'm doing or the gold farming. So I'm kind of going to be sidetracking that data a little bit because it's just around 1,000 per energy, and it's like decent base information to have, because in the concept of turning your astro gems into energy, that you turn into Astromon, that you turn into money, that you like make the whole thing circle around, you need around 1,300 coins per energy in order for the entire thing to go around. And of course, playing on experience mode in a relatively low tier map is not going to be giving you that. So that's just like extra info for those that are into that stuff. So now I'm gonna be what I've been doing here is I've just been taking some of my Nat 3 Astromons that I've been having level 30 for ages, and I have ascended them to Nat 4s, and I'm including them on this journey because I kind of want to work them all up towards level 50 so that they have just a little more use in terms of assisting in Titan battles in the clan part of Monster Super League, because I haven't really been doing as much there as I want to. I have whoa, a double spawn. So we have both a variant here and an exotic. So this is a very very nice one. In terms of clan battles, I really want to be doing more damage. I'm pretty stably just raking in the 3-star chests, and I would like to do more than that. So I have been focusing on doing one Astromon at a time, getting it to 6 stars, evolving it to tier 3, trying to focus on a single one at a time, giving that one gems. And of course I've been making a lot of getting started mistakes in the game, and I'm like slowly trying to correct all that stuff now, nudging gems and characters back into where I want them so that I can push a little further in the clan battles, because the rewards there are pretty exciting, I feel. And of course I'm going to be looking into the new Tower of Chaos as well. It's the new rewards are pretty exciting, I feel. And of course there is like your weekly chance to get a gleam. Gleams are nice. Gleams are like Joker wild cards in terms of evolution. So if you catch, for instance, a single legendary, as we have done in this video here, then you kind of need additional legendaries of the same type in order to evolve it. But you can use a gleam instead, and you can get gleams for logging in every day for 28 days. You can do it for completing all weekly quests 3 times in a month, and you can get it from the Tower of Chaos, and of course you can buy them, but yeah. So you can get like at least these 3 free gleams on a monthly basis, and that is really nice for evolving your natural 4 and 5 stars. So guys, that was the run that I had this time around, and the first thing we're going to be including here is the session data. 91 battles, and as you can see I included the coins here, but like I said, I'm going to be not doing that moving forward. We caught a variant chest, a variant arc, 1 legendary Anu, a super rare, and then 1 rare. So pretty nice batch of catches in these 91 battles. 5 catch-able, note-able Astromons in 91 battles. That is really, really exciting, I feel. With that said and done, we're going to be looking at this here. This is the total like stats for all the games I have recorded and provided statistical data for so far. 230 games. And again, I have the coin info here, but I'm going to be not including that moving forward. 3 10 gem variants found. That's 1 in 77 games. A single 5 gem variant, 1 in 230 games. A single legendary we can now add it to the list. And of course we have a single super rare on the list as well, 2 exotics and 3 rares. In terms of notable Astromons, and these are like the ones where it comes out and it says rare, we have found 11 so far. That's 1 in 28 games, meaning that if you go auto battle, then you're going to be seeing almost 1 each time you complete a full batch of auto battles. So that is really cool information. And if you just focus on the 3+ Astromons, then we have found 7, making it 1 in 33 games where you're going to be finding those. So that does not include the chest and the arc variants, just really the and the ones you may be using for actually playing with. So guys, that was what I had to share in this Monster Super League video. As always, thank you very much for watching.